Referencia en el contexto. Veremos ahora algunos aspectos relacionados con la referencia en el contexto, tales como los marcadores de transición y los referentes. Para lograr ese objetivo veremos cómo reconocer e identificar los distintos tipos de referencia contextual, ya sea anafórica, catafórica o exofórica, además de leer y relacionar a los marcadores de transición con las palabras que estos reemplazan. A modo de ejercicio previo e ilustrativo, leeremos el texto y procederemos a identificar aquellas palabras que son reemplazadas por las palabras resaltadas en rojo.
A computer, like any other machine, is used because it does certain jobs better and more efficiently than humans. It can receive more information and process it faster than any human. The speed at which a computer works means it can replace weeks or even months of pencil and paper work. Therefore, computers are used when the time saved offsets their cost, which is one of the many reasons they are used so much in business, industry, and research.
Marcadores de transición. Son palabras que sustituyen a otras, para evitar su repetición. Hacen referencia a palabras que ya han sido utilizadas. También pueden referirse a ideas que se mencionarán más adelante en el texto. Ser capaz de reconocer e identificar a los marcadores de transición ayudará a entender lo que estamos leyendo. Cuando leemos, debemos prestar atención a los marcadores de transición que aparecen en el texto. Mientras avanzamos en la lectura, podemos hallar los referentes de dichos marcadores buscando en el texto, utilizando el sentido común y aprovechando el conocimiento que tenemos de la materia en estudio. Pronombres personales, sujeto y objeto. Adjetivos y pronombres posesivos. Los pronombres son los marcadores de transición más utilizados. Reemplazan a un sustantivo o una frase sustantiva. Los adjetivos posesivos, en cambio, modifican a un sustantivo o frase sustantiva. Ejemplos de pronombres personales y adjetivos posesivos.
Animation is a component of multimedia. It is used in online video game as well as in moving banners displaying sports scores or stock prices.
Even though an optical fiber is as thin as hair, its signal carrying capacity is higher than copper wire.
As companies unify their networks and systems, they must merge new technologies and legacy systems.
Walter Brattain was an American physicist. He worked in a team that invented the point-contact transistor in December 1947 and devoted much of his life to research on surface states.
Pronombres relativos. Sirven para proporcionar información adicional. A continuación brindamos una lista de pronombres relativos.
That, which, who, whom, whose, where, when, why.
Ejemplos.
Today, telecommunication is widespread and devices that assist the process, such as the television, radio and telephone, are common in many parts of the world. An operating system is a master-controlled program which controls the functions of the computer system as a whole and the running of application programs.
For example, when we use the function f of x equals sine of x, it is understood that means the sine of the angle whose radian measure is x. In physics, the rate of change of work with respect to time is called power. Chemists who study a chemical reaction are interested in the rate of change in the concentration of a reactant with respect to time, called the rate of reaction. We will therefore not focus on bipolar device modeling, but will concentrate on MOS device modeling, where this accuracy is still lacking. This problem can also be solved graphically, by plotting position versus time for each vehicle on the same graph. The intersection of the two graphs corresponds to the time and position at which the trooper overtakes the car.
Sustantivo tácito. Esto significa la emisión de sustantivos mencionados anteriormente. A continuación brindamos un listado de marcadores de transición que remiten a un sustantivo específico, singular o plural, evitando así la repetición innecesaria del mismo.
1. Another. The other. Others. Some. These. Those. All.
Ejemplos.
There is no best answer to the question which online service is the best. Rating a particular online service over another is entirely subjective. Price is important to some people, while the number of files available for download is important to others. Most programs are user-friendly, but some are very complicated. Thermodynamic processes that occur in nature are all irreversible processes. These are processes that proceed spontaneously in one direction but not the other. A harpsichord tone, in addition to having different harmonic content, begins much more quickly with a click, and the higher harmonics begin before the low ones. When the key is released, the sound also dies away much more rapidly with a harpsichord than with a piano. Let us think about the properties of our own sun. Its mass and radius are much larger than those of any planet, but compared to other stars, our sun is not exceptionally massive.
Palabras específicas. Esto concierne al uso de palabras específicas que brindan significados específicos relacionados con ideas o conceptos expresados en otra parte del texto. Ejemplos.
We can also determine the properties of the image by simple graphical method. His method consists of finding the point of intersection of a few particular rays that diverge from a point of the object and are reflected by the mirror. Telecommunications is the transmission of signals over a distance for the purpose of communication. In modern times, this process almost always involves the sending of electromagnetic waves by electronic transmitters, but in early years it may have involved the use of smoke signals, drums or semaphore.
Sustitución de ideas. Uso de los marcadores that, it, this o which como sujeto para hacer referencia a una idea mencionada previamente. Ejemplos.
Multimedia combines text with sound, video, animation and graphic. This greatly enhances the interaction between user and machine. When Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP, was first introduced, the connection had to be made between PCs online at the same time. This is no longer necessary.
Calling an idea a theory does not mean that it is just a random thought or an unproven concept. Rather, a theory is an explanation of natural phenomena based on observation and accepted fundamental principles. An example is the well-established theory of biological evolution. which is the result of extensive research and observation by generations of biologists.
Secuencia de ideas. En este caso se trata de marcadores que muestran el orden de situaciones o eventos. Dichos marcadores son los siguientes.
The former. The latter.
Ejemplos.
Appliance ratings list either voltage and power, or voltage and current. From either, the current, power, and effective resistance can be found. In our problem, we have a 120 volt and 18 watt rated appliance, and a 120 volt and 300 milliampere rated appliance. We shall now compute the current and resistance for the former and the power and resistance for the latter in normal operation. Nearsightedness usually arises because the eyeball is too long, elongated in the horizontal direction, or the curvature of the cornea is too great, bulging cornea. In the former, the retina is placed at a farther distance from the cornea lens system, and in the latter, the eyeball converges the light from distant objects to a spot in front of the retina. Whatever the reason, the image is focused in front of the retina.
It, en la posición de sujeto u objeto. Se utiliza en la posición de sujeto u objeto en una oración para referirse al sujeto u objeto real que aparece más adelante en el texto. Esto es lo que se denomina catáfora. Ejemplos. Como sujeto.
From your prior study of chemistry, the hybrid orbital types sp and sp3, used to describe these cases, are probably familiar. It is not unusual to hear someone say that methane is tetrahedral because the carbon atom is sp3 hybridized.
Como sujeto.
Cutting of nickel alloys, stainless steel and other materials by laser finds application in aircraft and automobile manufacturing units. It is estimated that laser cutting can save 60 to 70% power compared to conventional methods in aerospace industries. Laser cutting also finds a place in textile industries for cutting the cloth.
Como objeto.
The equations of the quadric surfaces have certain characteristics that make it possible to identify quadric surfaces that are derived from these equations by reflections. These identifying characteristics are based on writing the equation of the quadric surface so that all of the variable terms are on the left side of the equation and there is a 1 or a 0 on the right side.
Referencia exofórica. En este caso, el referente se encuentra fuera del texto y está representado por el autor o lector, según corresponda. A continuación vemos los marcadores pertinentes.
We, us, our, ours, you, your, yours.
Ejemplos.
The natural numbers can also be used to measure other things. For example, a thermometer is like a ruler which measures temperature. However, the thermometer shows us that we encounter other types of numbers besides the natural numbers, because there may be temperatures which may go below 0. Many examples make use of multiple representations of functions, algebraic, graphical, and numerical, to highlight the different ways of looking at a problem and to highlight the insights that different representations can provide. You should be able to use different approaches for finding solutions to problems. For instance, you would obtain a solution algebraically when that is the most appropriate technique to use, and you would obtain solutions graphically or numerically when algebra is difficult or impossible to use.
Final del tema.